Hose with feelings.
Hose with feelings.
Hose with feelings.
Hose with feelings. With Carolina Teresa
and Melissa Rich. Poor Connor. Swept up in sports. When you don't get paid to play the sport,
it's
like,
not even about not
what?
getting paid. It's just like you're volunteering to wear a t-shirt, the same t-shirt as other people, and then play a game.
After work.
After work or like on the, I don't know. I mean, but Hamide does play soccer. I don't know if he wears it.
It reads differently with Hamide.
It does read differently. It does.
Connor, I don't think you have enough free time to be dedicating to that.
Yeah, Connor, you're supposed to be working on this business.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be working on this multi-billion-dollar business you're going to have.
Thanks, Connor.
Thank you so much, Connor.
Are we
what a
recording?
time. Yeah,
Okay,
we're rolling.
great.
We're back. Hello. We have been away. We have had some times. We had a guest, but our guest dropped, which was devastating. But also, I think it was meant to be that we do
too.
Just a pod with us.
I wanted to do this, but I was like, let me get a few weeks out and then I can be fully in control of my feelings, which is not the move. I think that's what I've been learning in these past weeks is
that you can't always.
There's no control.
Mm-hmm.
There's no control whatsoever. So yeah, it's a more of a raw state than I was planning on being in.
We also never talked about Miami.
We never talked about Miami.
The juxtaposition of everything that you have going on in Miami.
I know.
And it was right. Well, Miami happened and then it was like, but I'm glad Miami happened.
You know what it was? Me too, because it was, I mean, I do want to mention as well, Eva.
Yeah.
Eva Evans, who everyone probably knows from TikTok, passed away the week before we went to Miami.
Mm-hmm.
So I went from her funeral to Miami.
Yeah.
Literally did not sleep. So that was crazy in the first place. I was definitely carrying a lot of feelings, but I feel like we should talk about Miami and how fun that was and then get back to Eva. Because it was a gorgeous time. And I feel like we have to say thank you to the Miami
community.
The community. Miami as a city.
Will Smith.
You know, the heat.
The beach.
Who else? Pitbull. Obviously.
My cousin Jasmine.
Jasmine for fucking sure.
My cousin Jasmine.
We extended. Here's the thing about this trip that I'll always remember is that I almost got out with like a shred of dignity. I almost left with being like, okay, I didn't fully lose the plot. I wasn't like going home. Think if we left when we were supposed to leave. We behaved pretty much. We were going crazy, but for me, I think we behaved.
Yeah.
Like if we would have left.
But that one extra night, I feel like we didn't do anything too crazy.
Sure, but it was a Miami night. But like they all were, but we almost left with like an ounce of like, okay, that was not
tame, a little bit more tame.
Not tame necessarily, but like a little bit responsible.
Okay, yeah. And I was the one that wanted to be irresponsible in this time.
I know.
Because Mike, we were at the Soho House in Miami, the beach, and we're on a little cabana thing. We're drinking. I was having
our bags.
Here's our bags.
We scheduled the flight for like 7 p.m. on a Saturday night.
Yes.
That was never going to happen. But it was that or like Saturday at like 5 a.m. That was not enough time to not even fully go out the night before to get to the airport at like, 3.
Yeah.
So this was the only option. And we do have to thank our cousin Jasmine.
Yeah. Because Mike, we were having a good time. She goes, "Stay." She goes, I'm going to buy you a flight. Don't worry. I'm going to buy you the flight. And I usually would be the one to be like, no, I have to go home. But I was like, no, I'm actually having the most
We're
fun
having
time.
so much fun.
Like as soon as we touched down in Miami, we were having such a good time and everything just kept happening naturally. Just like good time after good time, good vibe, good people that I was like, okay, I'll stay. And she's the one that hesitated.
Well, also because like, as much as Jasmine is my cousin, I was like, I can't accept you, even if she's using points, like to change my flight for me. I was like, that is the nicest thing that anyone has ever done for me.
And I was just like yeah, it's fine. I was like, what's the problem?
I was like, can I accept this? That was my
I think
state.
so. And I had to be like, Melissa, you're a part of my family now. I'm gonna cry. And there's good and there's bad, right? Being a part of my family, there's good and there's bad.
There's a child sitting in the hallway right now.
In the hallway. I kind of always have a niece or a nephew with me.
It's fine.
But then, the other people in my family, Kendra picked us up from the airport.
Your family is
it's complicated.
Weep.
They're crazy.
I will weep. The beauty of your family is amazing. And the fact that they even think to extend that to me is the sweetest, most amazing thing in the world. It really does remind me of like when I was in high school and I'd be like going on vacation with other people's families. And I'm like, what do you mean? I'm part of this now. Like, guess why you're stuck with me? Like, that's the feeling they give me. And it's so sweet. They're all amazing and hilarious. I just love them. I love them so much.
And the thing is like I said, there's ups and there's downs. They're kind of always around.
The downs are not
they're in my business.
Even that, whatever.
They're
Do
in
I
your
end
business.
Up nannying? Sure.
Yeah, you end up,
but that's fine. I want your family in my business. They're so funny about it.
Yeah, we had such a good time. My ex-lover, Paul.
That was the standout star.
Yeah.
He was a breakout role in the trip.
For the trip for her.
Because truly, had I known Paul earlier, sure, just kind of in passing in comedy, never really hung out with him, heard all the stories about you. And, even being your friend, I wanted to defend you. This was a person who rejected you. So, of course, to me, they're dead. And then you wanted to bring him into the show, which I was like, well, obviously that'll be funny. And I have to say that was the craziest onstage experience I've ever had because I'm sitting between you felt like Jerry
Springer.
I did. You were both sitting there yelling at each other. Can I just say this? And he's yelling. It was so nutty, but I think everyone did really love it.
They loved it. Not only that, the thing about Paul and I is that I genuinely always enjoyed him.
Well,
and I understand why. You see me and Paul, could we have ever been a thing?
Obviously not.
Okay, it's fine.
It's crazy. It is.
When I think about, you're like, oh, he rejected you. I'm like, he missed out. He fumbled the bag,
and he knows he did. Especially after we had so much fun. You are, and then he essentially took us out. Me 2 nights, you 1 night, and it was like, now this is not Carolina's ex-lover Paul.
This is
Carolina's
Paul's ex-lover, which is fine with me.
We call him Paul now.
You call him Paul. I'll always call him my ex-lover, Paul.
Yeah, that's true. I probably will.
We had a good time.
But he really did earn a space in our hearts.
Yeah, he did. And Emily was with us, and we had such a good time with Emily.
Emily was such a good addition. I was worried.
She was a champion.
We're talking about Emily Panic, who you've seen on the podcast. She really is the coolest, and I feel like I got to know her in her cancer way as well. You go on a trip with someone, you see someone at the beach, you're just like, I get you now, fully. Thought I did before, but now even more. I thought we might scare her, not even for a second. She was down to clown.
I thought we might scare her as well. She had so much fun with us.
Yeah.
But you know what? Before we went on the trip, she came over to my house to get her nails done. And it's never simple. Holidays coming in and out. Sydney's there. Liliana happened to be there.
Right.
And I was like, you know what? She handled that very well. I think she'll be fine on the trip.
Yeah.
And she was.
She was. She's so chill, so cool. I think she's probably really glad that she got her own hotel room after she saw, our exploding suitcases, and
that is where we lose. That's somewhere we lose the Virgo. It's like, where the fuck is the Virgo in the room?
Could be nice to have that. Yeah, find her.
Point her out, because when me and her are in a hotel room, it's like the bag opens up and it goes.
I don't know how anyone does anything else, and the clothes. I was like, what were we going to do with that? Hang our clothes in the minibar? What are you talking about?
We did. Hang our clothes in them. I did. I had my stump up.
Whatever. We loved our hotel.
We did love our hotel.
Arlo Wynwood.
Yeah, we did love our. We had a little balcony. It was cute though, and it was clutch, and it was nice to do the show in a place where we could go back to our room.
It really was giving me Christina Aguilera or someone. I'm in my hotel room and going down to do the show. I'm coming back to the hotel room. It was so chic.
It was chic. It was such a good time.
Where else did we do that? Oh, Seattle. We did that too.
We did that in Seattle. I will say, we can move on from this, but I will say I was most excited about going to that party at Red Rooster. I just had the most fun last time. And then I was like, I knew you were going to have fun. And you were tired. She was tired.
Did.
She was tired.
I was. You could see. She was tired.
And I was like, I'm going to push Melissa because sometimes you push me.
I was not going to not do this.
No, I know. But sometimes I get nervous because you're not. I was like, I feel like she's not happy right now, but I know she will be. So I just have
It wasn't I wasn't happy. I was just like,
tired.
Here we fucking go. Yeah. Like, I was like, I don't even know where our bags are right now. Like, I was just like, whatever, one more night. And I knew we weren't going to go to bed. So I think I was just like gearing up to not sleep and go straight to the airport. And I got in right in the groove. Although I was really questioned at the airport. More so than I have ever been questioned.
And you know what was crazy? We get off and she goes, yeah, well, we look like drug dealers' girlfriends. I said, no, baby, you look like a drug dealer's girlfriend.
I was wearing an Ed Hardy
hat. I look like
a
lesbian. And it's just not the same.
It was crazy. We got felt up like an insane way. Like third date felt up. And also my ID scanned and it came up as someone else's name or something. Like the lady at the airport was scared. She was like, I don't know what to do. Like she was like looking for her boss. I'm like, wait. Like, what does it say? And she's like, gibberish. Like it came up as like nothing or something. I bet it came up as like fake. Another language or something. Yeah, I bet it was like something crazy.
Some kind of Eastern European spy.
Right. Which and obviously that's what you could be. I'm dressed, And
yeah, she had on the Ed Hardy hat with the diamonds on top.
Whatever. I was in Miami and I was like, just skin it one more time. And it worked. And she was kind of like, what kind of weird
she was looking
magic
at you,
did you
suspicious,
do?
Yeah.
And then she checked it. And you know how everyone's like, is this a real ID? Like literally it's called real ID. Like when I got my new ID, they were like, you can pay $40 and get a real ID. And I was like, no. And they're like, okay, we'll just give it to you. Thank God, because that's the only reason she let me go.
It was because it wasn't a real ID?
No, it said real ID on it. Whatever. Angels, thank you. But whatever. Yeah, the last night was insane. My favorite moment of the airport was you like falling asleep. Our flight's delayed. I'm like still like, I'm going to get a sandwich. I'm going to whatever. Like I'm like, still alert. You're falling asleep and you like just kind of half wake up and you're like, did they say anything about us getting... And then you just stop for like 10 minutes and you just go.
Because I couldn't find my words.
Plane?
I couldn't find my words. It
was so fun.
It took me 3 or 4 days to recover from that trip, but I have absolutely no regrets.
Especially about the last night. It was so fun.
Not a one regret.
Thank you to Carolina's ex-boyfriend, Paul.
Yeah.
And Danielle.
And Danielle. And she was really trying. Shout out to Danielle.
Danielle's a real one.
Yeah.
Danielle's an absolute real one.
And
they took care of us hard.
Sitting at the water at some like body of water. In Brickell. Drinking drinks.
Because it was a 9 a.m. flight.
Yeah.
So at a normal, a 7 a.m. or a 6 a.m., you can stay up, you can leave the bar, get your bags, go. This was a challenge. And that was part of my hesitation in changing the flights as well.
But it was so fun to me to do that and like be at the water. Paul was telling us this crazy story about how he got robbed. Yeah. There were guns involved. It just was a crazy
really
night.
Entertaining. Yeah. I was on the edge of my seat. Yeah.
And then we came back.
And then we came back. I did still go out. I went to Mission Chinese that night with young me, who's from the pod. The Mission Chinese pop-up. If you haven't been, it's on Mott Street.
I need to go.
It's so good. And actually, I think you might die.
It's too spicy.
It's spicy in a way that like...
It hurts you.
It's like... it is cool. I enjoy it and I think it's fun, but I think it would really hurt you.
It would hurt me. Can I tell you something really funny? So yesterday, Liliana had her friend Jasmine over. Have you met Jasmine?
No, but I feel like I have to.
Oh my God. We actually have to do like, I do feel like
Jasmine on the pod.
We should just go out with Liliana and Jasmine. I want you to meet her friend Jasmine. She is so funny. Yeah. She's just like, she's got big eyes and she's always kind of like, what? Like, she's a strange bird, but I love her. And she brought her little brother. Of course, they didn't tell me they were bringing the little brother. They just brought the little brother over. Right. He's like 6 or 7 years old. Such a sweet boy. Liliana is giving out spicy mango to everyone to try. I already know I don't want any. No. They give it to the little boy. He's excited. He starts crying.
No.
He starts crying because it's too spicy. It was so cute. He was like 6 or 7. I don't know. Sometimes little kids get in that place where I'm like, I don't know how old you are.
Right.
But it was so cute. That would be me at Mission Chinese.
Yeah, that would be you. Yeah. 100%. That being said, highly recommend.
If you can take the spice.
Yeah. So I go out. I'm with Kiki, whatever. We're hanging. I go home.
Wait, so Kiki was here?
Kiki was here. gone already again. She's back in Greece. And then the next morning I wake up, it's like, I don't know, 11. And I have a message from my best college friend's brother saying it's an emergency. I need you to call me. Mm-hmm. And I found out that he was hit by a car the night before, literally crossing the street, was like on the phone with his parents like 10 minutes before. And it's just like, you know, he had a really hard year. And we were worried about him in a way that was like, he got through something. You know, he was running to Buddhist temples. He was like, you know, getting over a divorce. And I just gotten messages from him that was like, okay, he's come through this. And he's like on the other side. So it was like confusing because I was like, what are we talking about? Like, he's fine. He's better. He's like, you know. And yeah, it was just the most devastating thing I've ever received. And it just sent me into this like absolute tailspin that I still am in for like 2 weeks. And it's like crazy the fact that like Eva passed right before and I kind of saw it and I didn't really feel, even though like I loved her, I was glad, but she was a newer friend. I didn't feel like I had like almost a right to be like grieving that hard, even though like, of course I cried. Of course I was there, like messaged her sisters. I was like at the service. But even there, I was just like, oh my God, how devastating for like her close friends and her sisters. Her like family, I just kept thinking about that. I was like, oh my God, like they're just so close. And like her sister, you know, gave this like amazing eulogy and said like, all of this stuff about like living beyond someone who hasn't. It just like cut me to my core. Like she was just like, take her on your trip with you to Morocco. Like save a seat for her at your wedding. Like let her hold your children. Like all of these things are just like you're mourning like the future. And it was just so gutting in that moment. And then all of that came like so full circle to me in just like 1 second, like a week later. And it's just so jarring to have like someone who I knew would be my lifetime friend, who would be, you know, at my like 60th birthday and like, you know, fucking Morocco or whatever. Like this was my ride or die. So it was like just really jarring in a way that like, I don't know. It feels even different than like when my dad passed. It's just like that was in that moment so shocking and devastating. And about that was like, oh my God, I wasn't there for it. And that was the most upsetting part. But he had Alzheimer's. There was stages of grief for like 5 years where it was like, we know this isn't coming. We know we're losing him for 5 years. The shock of losing someone that you
expect to know for a long time and to have memories with,
right?
Like you said, like to build these memories for, and like that you've already made the space for them,
exactly.
And you're already expecting them to be there, and now they're not going to be there. Like that realization, that kind of like reality, that is so difficult and so hard.
It was crazy because I even felt that with Eva. I was just like, you know, I could see us still being downtown and, you know, in our 40s and our 50s, divorces under our belts. I said that to Frank. He was like, divorces. Okay, cool. But I was like, just literally like, I saw us. Yeah, I just saw us like always being there, you know, with like Peely and Keaton, like just like that crew. I was just like locked in, good to go. And so that was even jarring where it was just like, oh my God, I don't know. It was just such a weird like turn of events. But yeah, with my friend Mike, it was just like, I don't know. From the moment I met him, literally to 7-Eleven in Metro Detroit, it was just like, this was the most magical, amazing person who I think you met him at my Hanukkah party. Yeah. And it's just like so fucked that I'm like, all of these people who like, I'm glad that you did, but like so many people that I know now, I'm just like, oh my God, he would have loved you. You would have loved him. Like all these connections that now we can't make. And you just think you have time. Like that's what my other best friend Abby kept saying. Like, the mistake we made was thinking that there was time for all of these things to like go on trips, further because we were college friends. We were like doing road trips forever. We were whatever. I'm like, I'm sad that I didn't get to go on like an airplane with him. Like we were just getting to our adult lives. Like he got married the years during COVID. We were kind of like robbed. We were planning trips then. That didn't happen. Or maybe I did go on an airplane with him. I don't know. Now I'm like losing it. Whatever. Point being, there was just like, it felt like our adult lives were starting. Yeah. It was just like literally like at his wedding, I was just like, amazing. This is beginning. And yeah, it just feels like the most like angering, fucked up thing to like be robbed of your future with someone.
Yeah.
Is I think what I'm feeling. On top of a million other things. I don't know. Honestly, it's been so crazy to even try to sort out like what I'm feeling. And like every day feels entirely different. Like I'll even wake up with like energy, or like on Sunday I cleaned like the entire day.
Yeah, and I was like,
you were probably really shocked, and I'm still in it. I'm like, I have to clean, like whatever. So that's cool. As opposed to me eating the first like 5 days, I would get starving. I'm not joking. Every 30 minutes, like on the dot. Like I'd be like, we have to like order something else. Like I need like another full meal. It was crazy,
but it is like definitely like a shock and a reaction to grief.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. 'Cause I remember and it's funny because when I lost the baby, I wanted to eat, but everyone around me wanted to feed me.
Right.
Which is so, I was just like, why is everyone just literally stuffing me to the brim? But I also was like,
it's literally human nature or something.
It's human nature, but when I thought about it, I was like, I just can't afford, I think in my mental state, to kind of not get what I want or not feel
deprive yourself
satisfied
of anything.
or deprive myself of anything because I was like, I feel mentally so broken and so fragile that like any little thing could send me into a tailspin, even as small as like having to cook or like feeling even a little bit hungry or feeling even a little bit like inconvenienced.
Or thinking about work.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, I've not done a thing.
But I was ready to be like, I was like, I need time off. And if you can't give me the time off, then I can't work. Because I can't, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. Your brain isn't working.
Yeah.
It's literally brain's not working. I know I pushed off like 2 articles. I was just like, I don't know what to tell you. I can't. And
did you tell them that you had
one of them,
away?
I pushed one of them because I was going to talk to people who Eva knew, Eva's friends. I was like, there's no way I'm going to reach out for an interview with that. So I was like, I'd already pushed it. He's like, how about like May 10th or something? And I was just like, I just didn't respond until like literally yesterday. And I was like, maybe by the end of the month, like if they still want me to write it. But like, there's just no putting yourself back in reality.
And that's something you can't rush.
Totally.
Yeah.
And when my dad died, it was COVID. So we were like in the house, me, my mom, and my sisters, which brought its own challenges, but like it was distraction enough. We were fighting. Mm-hmm. We were, getting annoyed. We were just watching Downton Abbey constantly. It was just like the stupidest, like, but we didn't have to interact with anyone. And that was also weird because as like, even before I went back for the funeral, I'm having to see people. I'm like out and whatever, or just like interacting on Instagram. And I was literally pretending it didn't happen because I could not yet like say the words like my friend died or like anything like that yet. So I was literally like, everyone's gonna think I'm such a sociopath because I've been like responding to their Instagram stories like, yes, go off girl. But I was literally functioning in denial so hard. Or like even the other day when we were at the show and it was so funny when you were like, everyone was like, how was Chicago? And I was like, what? And you were like, oh, I told everyone you were in Chicago, which I wasn't. I was in Detroit, but that just made me laugh. No, it was the funniest thing ever. And I literally was just like, it was great. Just like dead in the eyes.
Yeah, you did.
And I saw you look at me and I was just like, I can't even. Like,
yeah. And I was like, I respect that.
The public facing thing is so weird. Because also it's like, if I stay home and just watch TV, which is kind of what I want to do, or now the cleaning, but like I knew that is going to ultimately make me kind of sad. So I've been just trying to like go out to whatever like feels okay. But I told you this too. People have been saying, it's giving Lana. You look like Lana.
Oh,
you
that
like
you look
Lana
sad.
Del Rey. That's what I clocked. I was like, no one has ever told me that before in my life. I don't think that I look like her. A huge compliment, but we just simply, our faces don't. And I was like, oh, I look sad.
Though. And I said that to
maybe
you.
that, but no one's ever said that to me. Yeah. I was like, oh, I'm walking around sad. I'm sad at the party.
And that's
I'm giving
okay.
sad. It is okay. But I was just like, that's so funny that it's like manifesting physically in the way that people know how to identify it is Lana Del Rey.
I mean, the music is sad.
It's just sad girl. Yeah, I've been walking around giving sad girl, but I don't know. There's been like profoundness in that as well. And like friends that like I would never even seek out to like be comfort have come through in ways that are like so hard. Obviously, you've been amazing. You picked up everything so seamlessly.
I tried. You know, I'm bad at that stuff, but I tried.
No, you did a really good job. I mean, you like ran the show and Natalie wasn't even there.
I know, I did. I was scared, but I said I just gotta. And I was like, we have to be there on time.
I know,
who was I with?
So
I was with
sweet.
Artie. And I was with Hamid, and Hamid didn't even question me. I was like, you need to drive me. You need to take me to pick up Artie, and you need to drive me. And that's it.
So
and he
sweet.
didn't question me. He was just like, okay, we'll go get her. We'll do this. Yeah.
When people like come through for you, it's just like.
It does feel really good. Like Black Jasmine and Artie, literally, I called on Black Jasmine last minute.
But then like, and then they were doing that for me too. And like you were doing that for me. It was just like so sweet. And like, so many people have been so nice about it.
Well, it's just, you just have to be, I think sometimes you just need the reminder that like people have your back.
Mm-hmm.
You know, people have your back.
I know. Like literally some of like Frank's friends who I like don't even like hang out with really without him. Like just like scooped me up one night when we were out and we just had like a really nice, just one of those nights where you like get to the core of like everyone. And it was just so like, I just like needed it. It felt like I did like ayahuasca or something. It was, like,
you told me that. Yeah.
But I don't know. I really don't know what I would do if like my friend Abby didn't live here, our other bestie, because we were in it together in this like group. We were in college together. And it was just like got the call, then had to call her while she's like in the offices at her work. And I was just like, fuck, I'm gonna have to do that. But we literally just like went to O'Neill's, the Sex and the City bar by my house, chain smoking, drinking wine. It was that for like 2 days. And then it was literally like, oh, okay, we have to be in Detroit in a day. Yeah. And I was like, oh my God, it's like too fast. And then we had 1 day in between and it was so intense that I was like, actually, I cannot be there quick enough. Like I was like, actually, we have to go and do this. Yeah. So then we like fly in, just like every step of the way, it's just like you're numb or you're crying, like over and over again. And then like we get there and I was just like everywhere we went, I had like memories with him, like these like, you know, restaurant, like everything. Like he was just like so funny. Like we went to this little like, they're called like Coney Islands in Detroit, whatever. They're like little diners.
Oh, okay.
And I was just like, well, okay. We pull up and I'm like, fuck, this is where we went like after his wedding. And like, I have that memory. And I'm just like, face it head on. And then like they forgot the sauces. So we had to go back. And I'm like, I'm going to do it again. I'm going to like face it head on. And I go with Abby and she's like, actually, this is also where we were the night when we like went out. And then like we like got all the food and Mike's outside and he's like, these are my friends, the Ethiopian cab drivers. Let's talk to them. You know what I mean? Like he's just such a goof. So just memories on memories on memories everywhere we went. And by the end of the trip, I was just like, okay, that's beautiful. But it was so hard in the moment to just like confront that. But I had never been to like a proper Jewish funeral, even though I am converted Jewish. It was unreal. Like, obviously, I'm just like sobbing the whole time. His brother Andrew gave this like amazing eulogy that was like literally everyone did think they were whatever. It was just like beautiful, just about like how insanely special he was. Because he was the most unique character in my life. Like you met him. This is not like a random person, a normal friend. He's like so amazing.
What I will say is that I did meet him just the once.
Right.
But what I did recognize right off the bat, and like, because Frank texted me and was like, you know, this is what's going on. And I was like so sad for you because I just remember, like, I don't think I know any other friend of yours that was like him. Yeah. He was like
a straight male,
a straight white man. He's like, if you looked at him, he just looked like a guy, but
like, well dressed. He's like, you know, metrosexual or whatever was like the term when we were in college.
If I saw this man walking down the street, he's not the person that I would have thought was like one of your best friends.
I know.
But when I met him and I saw you two together, I was like, oh my God, he loves her.
I know.
And she loves him. And it's like, there is no explanation needed for like how or what or when or why you guys are friends. And you've talked about him to me before. So like just knowing that that's who it was, that broke my heart for you, because I was like, he is special to her. Like he's just special in general. And like for him to have been friends with you is even special, you know?
Like I was the lucky one, 1,000,000%. But that's when you say that, like we're in the service and Leisure Center's losing it. And I'm like, you have to keep it together. Like, come on. But then he just looked at me. He was just like, I'm so sad for you. Like, I'm so sorry. Like, just like in the eulogy, hearing everyone talk about him, I feel like it really hit him. And he was just like, oh my God, this is like such a huge loss. And it just really is like, I cannot express that enough. But it was really, the service was amazing. And then like the burial was actually like, I'm like, I was always like, maybe I'll get cremated and like, spread somewhere or something. But I was like, actually, I really think I do want this, where there's like literally casket in the ground, pile of dirt, and everyone goes through and like puts dirt on the casket. And it just makes you feel like, I don't know, the whole trip through it, as I was just like, if there was a sense of purpose, I felt better. And I feel like that was part of it. It was like seeing his parents and his family. And it's like, you never know, like, are you going to get FaceTime with them? Are you going to actually like talk to them? And they were just so like wanting to see us. And they were like, we want to stay connected. Like you are our connection to him. And I'm like, I feel that way with you too. Like it was just like, that's like the one amazing takeaway. It's like, literally, I feel like I've like added on some family and like taking care of his parents now. But it's just like, I don't know. It's really the most insane thing I've ever experienced.
I know. It's like going to funerals, meeting families, like when me and Artie's friend Ryan passed away and we met his family, like it just like, and I'd never met his parents before, and like just to meet his mom and his dad and to see like what he was made of. Yeah. It broke me just because I was like, look at these kind people who made this kind boy. And I'll like, of course you created such a like open and honest and good-hearted man. Exactly. Also a straight white man.
I know, yeah.
Or like not straight, but like a white man. Yeah. But just not who you would have ever, like just not what you thought he was. Right. And to meet these people who are just like these like sweet Catholic Connecticut people who just like innocent and just like have this amazing son, and they've lost him. Like it broke me a little bit, but it also healed me to know like, okay, this is where he comes from, and like to talk to them and to say like, he was so much more than you could have even imagined. Yes. And you did such a good job, and just be able to tell someone like, thank you for bringing this person onto this earth so that people could find joy. And my friend Ryan, I do stand up because of him. He told me to do stand up, and the first time I ever did stand up was at a show that he was hosting, and I had never done stand up before, and I was like, I've never done it before, and he was like, not a problem. You're going to kill it. You're going to get up there and you're going to kill it. I don't have. And every time I would do stand up, especially when I first started out, afterwards, we would talk about my set and he would be like, this was good and this was great. And then, but never in a way that it was like, this is how you do comedy. It was always just like, you're so funny. And it would be funny if you like just a bright light, and to lose someone like that is what I thought of for you. But I didn't want to bother you because I was just like, I already know she's going through like
you
the
were
hardest
perfect.
time.
Are you kidding? You texted me like always at the right time. You were there for me if I called.
I know, but I just felt like I hope you did. I don't know if you wanted me to call you more or to come over, but I also felt like sometimes when I'm in that place, sometimes what I do need is space, or to be with like Abby, who knows
Abby
him.
I cannot imagine. Like, I literally cannot imagine. Because also, like, she knows the jokes. She knows, like, a song comes on, we know. It's just, like, so... You need that immediacy in that time.
I mean, ultimately, at the end of the day,
in it.
I just want to say that I think we have to remember to like tell our friends that we love them.
I know.
And to give them a hug and like give them a break when they like when you feel like you're maybe mad at them or upset at them or like, you know what I mean? It sounds so corny and I don't want to be corny.
I know.
But it is the truth because like, I don't know, like my cousin's getting married on the 19th. Her mom passed away last year.
Damn.
And I'm so sad that her mom is not going to be there. But also part of me is like, I'm so happy for her.
Exactly.
I'm so happy for her. And like, I mean, I don't think anybody in my like immediate family listens to this podcast.
Let's hope not. Oh, yeah, you told me that.
And it's a little scandalous because they're religious. You know what I mean? It's a little scandalous. But in my mind, I'm like, I hope no one is making her feel bad. I hope no one is coming for her because like in my mind, I'm like, to have lost your mom last year and I met this guy and like, I don't want to put too much pressure on their relationship, but I did meet this guy at her mom's funeral and I don't know, something about him. I was like, it's good energy.
I love that.
It's good energy. And for them to be having a little, I don't know. I feel good about it.
I mean, well, scandalous that you also announced that on the pod.
But like, who's going to know? Okay. Trust me.
No, I think that's beautiful.
My cousin McCain is not listening.
Well, now we've named her. That's okay.
Shout out to her. She's a vegan.
Isn't it so funny when you think like, oh, is our family listening to this? I'm like, sometimes I wonder, but no one said anything. So
honestly,
go off.
I don't think who's I talking to? I was
Whatever.
like, I'm so glad that Hamide does not listen. I for sure would get in trouble.
Frank listens. Yeah, you would.
Yeah, but Frank's cool.
Frank's cool.
I feel like your man is like the cool man and mine is like the immigrant dad one. I am like even though they're both immigrants, but he's British.
Cool.
British people
in his
are
own
cool.
way. I know. I always forget that. I'm like, oh, Frank is Hamide's best American friend. And you were like, he's not American. I was like, oh, yeah.
No, he's not American, but he's cool. I feel like British people are always more like cool.
Well, he's dealing with it. I'm crazy right now. I'm crazy to him, even just before this.
I believe it.
And the worst part is,
and
like,
he's a king.
He is. And like, I see my mom doing this shit and I'm like, you're insane. You're psychotic. I can't take you. I don't want to speak to you. And then I look at myself in these moments, in these like tantrumy moments. Who am I acting like? Who am I acting like?
I'm not my mother to I am my mother pipeline in your 30s, bitch.
It's
gonna grab you by the neck.
It is horrific.
I heard my sister
I'm
on the phone.
trying so hard. I'm trying so hard.
Can I tell you I heard my sister on the phone? And they're in St. Lucia. And I'm on the phone with Parker and I hear my sister go to Alan. Do you love me? Tell me you love me. Do you love me? And I said,
you as well.
But I said, we are our mother.
Yeah.
That is my mother to a T. And she does it in this way where she's like, Doles, do you love me? Tell me you love me. And I do it.
So funny.
But to hear Kendra do it, I was like, oh my God, it's ingrained
At
in
least
us.
that's endearing. At least that's endearing. My mom is like, I'm going to project every ounce of anxiety that I'm feeling directly into your spirit.
Yeah, but my mom has her
crazy.
faults. She ain't perfect. She's not always,
I know,
do you love
but
me?
At least that's cute.
Yeah, it is cute. But I'm just saying that the pipeline is there.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It is.
And
honestly, my mom, I was like kind of mad at her for the first couple of days. Like I texted my mom and my sisters that happened and she didn't like text me or say anything for like a couple of days. And I was like, if for one more day this bitch does not check on me, I'm going to lose my mind. And then she sent like a generic, like, how are you feeling text? And I was like, I don't think I've ever been worse. And then she like called me right away and was like sweet about it. But I was just like, I don't know.
Mothers.
It's so complicated yet so duh, whatever. But yeah, I don't know. It's like, I think not that it's over. I think it's like, okay, we're coming out, like the sun is coming out. And then I'm like, no, we're back at it, like sad. Like, it's just like, I don't know. It'll
so
probably never end.
It will change. Not end, but it will change and it will, and you'll get to a place where you learn how to like manage your feelings for that person. Like, I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. There are times where like, I'm absolutely fine, but I will tell you, like, if I think about my friend Ryan on a certain day, if the sun looks a certain way, and it manifests inside me and I can't even like put my finger on it as to why I get the way that I get. But as soon as I realize what it is, I feel better because I'm like, you have every right.
Right.
I tell myself like, you are allowed.
Yeah.
But it's when you can't figure out why you feel the way you feel, or you like, it's not at the forefront of your mind, but you're still upset. But once I clock it, I'm like, okay, that's what this is. I'd rather at least know what it is.
Yeah.
And I feel like once you know what it is, then you have a little bit more control. Even though when it's fresh like this, you lose that bit of, it's not easy. You gain the control. Because 100%. When it's fresh like this, it's like you said, like, poor Frank, and that's just going to have to be how it is.
Well,
and it is what it is.
Or I just am straight into repression, which like is easier than I'd even like it to be, you know, where it's like, Chicago was amazing. Like, stupid.
I mean,
but
it's
at the
not
same time,
stupid.
it's self-protection.
I was like, it is self-protection. I was impressed. I was like, whoa, she just, damn. Good for you, bitch. Because I don't know if I would have been like, it was not that funny. You know what I mean?
I know. It's a blessing and a curse, I guess.
Yeah. I was like, okay, she calling on the ancestors. She's strong.
Oh, my ancestors are strong.
Okay, they're working
Eastern
overtime right now. That's what I was going to say. They're working overtime.
Borscht-making ladies. And then whatever the Lebanese were doing. I'm not sure. Smoking hookah. Whatever those girls do. I don't know. I think like the only thing that is going to make me feel okay and like whatever the purpose, and then like just thank God I knew him. Thank God I met him. Like just gratitude for the friendship because it did bring so much. Like, and it's hard because it does sometimes come full circle. If I start thinking about it and I'm like, oh my gosh, thank you. I'm so glad. And that's literally what I was saying, like literally into his grave. I was just like, thank you for everything. Like, oh my God, thank you. And like, if I don't stay in the thank you, then it gets like the sense of lack and loss. And like, it's so unfair that like, it's not continuing, and then I'm not gonna like meet your kids and like all of that. But if like you
I think the further away
you
come from it, the more grateful you become.
Right.
I will say that I can't tell you what your future is gonna be and like how you're gonna feel.
I know,
but I think that is one thing I will say. Like I feel so grateful to Ryan.
To new Ryan. Yeah.
I'm so
even the moments I met Ryan, he was so amazing.
I'm grateful to my Tasha, who I'm going to go to her daughter's wedding. And like, I'm so grateful to her. Like, I don't think I would be who I am without her. We went to the same college. I went there. I wouldn't have known about Ithaca had she not had gone there. We had the same major. Yes.
Oh my God.
We had the same major. She was like such an independent and like strong-willed person, and like growing up with her when she was like in her 20s and I was a little girl and she was the person that I looked up to. She was so smart and she loved to read and like all of these things. Like I know that like I carry those things with me, and I'm so grateful to her. So grateful to Ryan. So grateful to my aunt. I had 2 aunts last year pass away within months of each other.
Yeah.
So grateful to her, to like her family. Like we are blessed to have known these people. And even though it's sad to think that they're no longer with us, but like we have to remember we had the privilege.
I know.
The privilege of knowing your friend, and the privilege of just like having them impact your life. And to keep that alive is what keeps them alive.
Yeah.
You know?
Just like the support, the love, the fun, like it's irreplaceable. But like I just literally have to say, even now, like so like we had the day between like the funeral and the like Shiva ceremony, and we all kind of like felt good. It was like sunny out. We're like staying in this amazing house in Detroit, and it was like we just kind of had a good day, and we were like, should we stay in and be cozy? And we're like, no, let's like go out and like show Frank like some Detroit stuff and, you know, get the hot dogs and whatever. So we like have like one dinner. Of course, we're planning 2 dinners.
Hot dogs a part of Detroit?
It's a big thing.
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
it's like
know.
pony dogs. Yeah, I know. Nobody knows. Yeah, it's like these specific hot dogs. But then we also wanted to take them to the other place. And you know, I had to eat dinner twice. So we have like one dinner, and then we're like, okay, we'll go to this rooftop bar. And it just starts like raining out of nowhere. And we're like, okay, fuck. And we find these like umbrellas, and we're like, okay, let's go to like this bar. And we're like, this sucks. We went to like 2 different places. It sucked. Abby looks up on her phone like, okay, this is a block away. Let's just go there. And we go to this bar, and it's like, it was called Cafe Du Monde, and it's like pictures everywhere, whatever, live music. And we always used to go to this spot called Kingston Mines in Chicago where like, you know, one night, I feel like I can't even tell the story. It was just like a crazy night. I ended up missing a flight, whatever. It was just like so insane. We always used to go to the spot and we were like, oh my God, this is like Kingston Mines vibes. So we're like sitting there and like right in like with the band, we're getting, I know you're drinking.
This is making me sad. I'm like, we're like,
I know, sorry.
No, it's okay.
No, this is a happy story. So like we're getting sad. I look across the bar and it's like his other best friends. And they're at the bar. And we were like, what the fuck? Like, they told me they were going to be out in a different area. We didn't even know. So I'm like, eh. And so walk over there. And my friend Lo is like, oh no, we used to come here all the time. Mike knows the owner. Mike knows the band. Mike knows everything. Literally just like bringing people together nonstop. It was just like, I know that like, his when influence like that happen, and his, I'm always like, the synchronicities, exactly. Like and I like know that'll continue. Goosebumps. I know, and it was literally also like him being like, "No, they can't not know that I'm a big deal in this bar," or something. You know what I mean? Like bringing them together. It was just like so sweet and so amazing. So like, I don't know. I feel good that like I'm sure things like that will continue as I feel with my dad, but it's just, I don't know. It's so hard to be positive sometimes.
Yeah.
But it is, you can choose it, I guess.
You can choose. I don't even know if it's about a choosing thing. I mean, like, I think it takes time. You're not always able to just choose it. Like, it takes time to be able to get there.
It does, to even have that kind of control with like.
But you have to remember that like these people were a part of your life and they'll continue to be a part of your life. And like, there's so much positive to take from your dad, Eva, Mike, like these are people who loved you.
Yeah.
And even though they're not here, these are people who cared for you. Like, obviously, I didn't know Eva as well as you did, but she was so nice. She did come to our show. She was very supportive of us.
She was so supportive, so cool.
She didn't know me like she knew you.
She should have been on this couch. I'm like just sad that we didn't like book her in time.
Yeah.
And it's, yeah, but she loved you. Like she was so nice, an amazing, literal, like people throw icon around.
Yeah.
That was an icon.
She was.
That was a real icon. And someone who got New York in a way that like a lot of people don't. And like literally my first column ever, I interviewed her for it. And, you know, she grew up in the East Village. Her talking about, you know, nightlife and not taking it seriously, taking it in the way, she's a genius. The series, I don't know if you watched the series yet, Club Rat. If you haven't watched it, watch it on TikTok.
I started watching one episode.
It's amazing. It's amazing to pull that off. Really?
Yeah.
Well,
we were wearing the same gray dress.
I mean, a compliment to you both.
A compliment to us both. Twins.
But she like literally like captures New York in a way that like the only thing I could think of is Girls. Or like Sex and City. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like it's literally that. And I'm just like, again, the loss of the future.
A visionary.
Is what's sad. The loss of, and like for us, like work she would have done.
Yeah. What time is it?
We gotta go.
Okay.
Look at you. What time is it?
Just because there's no clock here.
Look at you. No, it's right there.
Oh.
But usually I'm always the one watching the clock.
Okay, I didn't know.
I gotta say, that's also one of the things I'm really grateful for. Just if we're being like so real, is like you stepped up in a way that obviously I knew you would, but you like nailed it. You were there.
It was important
I was
to
never
me, Melissa.
worried. I literally wasn't even worried. I was like, she's got this.
Bitch. I was frazzled. And that was the day of my dad's birthday too.
It was the day of our show. Everything was all at against you.
Yeah, yeah.
It was.
Didn't know Natalie wasn't going to be there until the middle of the day. I didn't even
think about that.
Because I was like, well, okay, Melissa's not going to be there. At least I have Natalie.
But you've never done the show without me. I've never done the show without you. It's kind of crazy.
I had Emily. Also, I have to say, Emily Panic
stepping the fuck up.
She stepped up. She got on stage with my crazy ass. And she was really great. And she was so cute and so sweet. I love her.
Don't
you know the
doubt
question.
That for a second.
You know, you get the questions. She's so sweet.
I'm obsessed. I wish I could have seen it.
Yeah, it was really great. And also, we get a lot of therapists in the audience. Again, we had a bunch of therapists.
I love that.
And it was so funny because I was like, did you guys think that everybody was like, they kind of were like, yeah, we just wanted to kind of see what the hell was going on. Like,
they're like, do we need to shut this down?
Yeah. No, but then they said it was fine. They found it entertaining and that it was cool.
My career rides on parody law.
Yes.
Every show I've done, I could get a cease and desist and like everything. And it's just like, if it's parody, I think it's fine.
Yeah.
So to be clear, it is a parody.
Yeah, we're not real therapists.
Of therapy.
As you can see.
So funny. Oh my God.
Well, Melissa, I think this has been, we really needed to do this.
We needed to do this. Thank you. Literally, thank you for everything. Thank you for covering for me.
Of course.
And for being there. Like,
of course. I know I'm the sloppy one of the two of us, but you know, when it comes to doing it.
And if any of my friends are listening, thank you for being there for me. And thank you to Abby and whatever.
And Frank.
And
thank you to Frank.
And thank you to Frank.
And
thank you to Mike.
Yeah.
And Mike's family. It's fine.
Perfect.
All right. Leisure Center is your Lower East Side solution for vintage clothes, shoes, books, posters, home decor, and cute downtown fashion boys. Shop for the boyfriend you have or pick one up while you shop for you. With men's, women's, unisex, and a full range of sizing, Leisure Center delivers the hottest vintage fashion for everyone. Get 10% off online with code HOSE or mention it in-store for discount. Leisure Center at 48 Hester Street in Lower Manhattan.